everybody. Welcome to Toffee Eurocast. We are back live, and we couldn't not go live after the games today because there's loads to talk about, and we want you to talk about the Euros. We know a lot of you. Some might not like the Euros, but we do like the Euros, and we want to hear what your comments are on the Euros because there's loads to talk, especially after that England game. I mean, we're going to start with the first game and work our way to that England game, and probably all kick off then. But we have to talk about the Euros. Paul, are you enjoying the Euros?
I'm loving the Euros. I love it. Yeah. I wish I could have it on in school, to be honest, so I could just. It's educational. It's about geography, kids. You know, and we'll just watch the football for the last hour of every day. But unfortunately, I can't get away with that. So I have to watch highlights of 2 o'clocks and then grab the other games when I get home from work. So it's good.
Well, we are like doing a little. We on the show. People said to us, "Oh, when it's the Euros, can you do something for us?" And we are continuously dropping on the Toffee Eurocast or the Toffee Bluecast YouTube channel. We're dropping shorts of predictions. We've got a team. We've got Rob, Jamie, and all that. So they've been participating. And me and Paul, we've been going head to head doing most of them as well of predictions. And we have got a good group of people that are putting their correct score predictions in the comments as well. So before every game, just go on the shorts and have a look what the predictions are and let us know yours because we are that sad. We do want to know what your score prediction is. And it's been fun. It has been fun, hasn't it, Paul? I think we've all had fun, right?
We're not that bad, are we? I thought we'd be really bad, but we're not. We're just all right, actually. Some people are getting right scores and everything.
No, I am starting to think we are professional pundits with the way we're going because I think you've had one correct score, haven't you? I've had one correct score.
I've had one. I was bloody close to 2 in a row.
I know. I thought you had 2. Late goal. Did you there? I thought you had that one. That would have been brace as well for you. Late goal. What was it, 95th minute then?
Oh, and yeah, I had, what was it, Croatia, Albania? And I had 2-1 Croatia, the Albanians, cheeky devils.
We've got paper scissors over that as well. I gave you the hard game, and you nearly got the prediction right on the hard game, and I didn't get mine nowhere near right. That's how it goes, isn't it?
It is. This England game, then. Oh my God!
Should we start with England or should we start with the Slovenia-Serbia?
No, let's kick in. Let's go straight to the.
I'll work our way down this year. Let's do this.
Straight to the boys. Yeah. How did you feel about? Well, I mean. My prediction was 2-1. And so when Denmark kind of equalised, was it against the run of play? No, yeah, I think it was potentially against the run of play a little bit in that first half. Yeah, in the first half. It all melds into one. But I was hopeful then of a 2-1. And lots of other people went 2-1. But what did you go for?
Went for 3-0 clean sheet. So I was
kind of, didn't you?
Yeah. As soon as the goal went in, I thought, you know what, fuming. But I was wrong. I wanted to get my prediction right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to break this England game down. We're going to talk about it. Let us know what your thoughts are. I mean, just before it went live, Paul was telling me some people are out for Pickford. So we'll talk about these things. Let us know on what you think on these things on this England game. And,
I don't think it was Everton fans. I think it was just general nonsense, really. Oh, we conceded a goal. It must be the goalkeeper's fault. I tell you what, watch the goal. Watch the build up to the goal. Watch us trying to dribble out from defence and then give a throw in away, or actually not give a throw in away. Get a throw in, then give it to Kane, who's on the edge of our area when he's a striker and should be up the bloody pitch. Try and hit it first time right across the pitch, and basically no one then close him down. And I tell you what, some strike. That ball did not touch the floor from when that guy hit it, and it was dead low all the way along. Went through 3 players who stuck their legs in the air and went in off the post. Definitely not the keeper's fault. Blame another 5 or 6 for that.
Unfortunately, it will never change. Some people will always be out for Pickford. And the Pickford haters are just waiting. They're literally waiting to come out sometimes. And the people will be saying, "Oh, Pickford this, Pickford that," but look in front of him. Like seriously, look in front of him. The England players in front of him should not be struggling against Denmark. They should not. Denmark should be absolutely bricking it against this England team, wondering how they're going to handle them. And we shouldn't be worried about Pickford having to make loads of saves in the game, which he had to. He had to come out, he had to make loads of saves, and he was very busy this game. In fact, I think Jordan Pickford was probably more busy this game than what he is in the Everton goal. I'm not even joking. He probably thought I've had an easier ride in the Everton goal sometimes than this, because all these England players that play in this England team, Southgate selected them. They've got to be the best of the best. And this is a really good England team. So something's massively going wrong here, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, just some comments really from the post-match conference. I mean, it is Twitter. I'm just kind of getting bits from that. But I'd heard Southgate say that the Alexander Arnold thing is an experiment. Well, why the bloody hell are you experimenting in a tournament? That's what you got. That's what you got friendlies for. That's what you got friendlies for. So if it's an experiment, you should know by now whether it works or not. And I don't think it's really worked over 2 games. I really don't.
No, it's. I don't know whether that you, Paul. Please tell me this is just a roundup of today's Euro football, and enjoy it. Trust me, because it's just like a space. This is fun. And was this real?
Go on.
Was Southgate saying that the Kevin Phillips, was that real? Did you see it?
Calvin Phillips. There's did he say there's no one? He said. Did he say? I'm trying to get the actual quote, but it's just people taking the piss. Did he say that we've got no one like Calvin Phillips?
Yeah, we've got no one like Calvin Phillips, and he's a very hard man to replace, or something like that.
I mean,
oh my days, Southgate. My days.
Mainu. I mean, Christ on a plane.
I love what's his name, Warrington or Wharton or whatever his name is.
Wharton. Yeah,
Wharton is insane. I'm not even joking. Right, let's get this into. I know Southgate has said he's playing players on form, right? Crystal Palace was massively struggling. They signed Wharton and they smashed the end of the season, and he was under pressure, amazing on the ball. And if you watch a lot of Crystal Palace's goals, he was the reason the ball shifted in good places for them to score. And Crystal Palace was beating big teams. And that's because Wharton he's on fire. And I know he's a young kid, but if Southgate is saying he's going to play players on form, Wharton is on fire. He can receive the ball and he just won't lose it. And when England, he's a proper centre midfielder. And that's what you've got to look at. I watched Germany, and they've got a good 3 in the centre. Good Dogan, Cruz, and someone else. I've just watched Spain, and Rodri and the other young kid is insane for Spain, centre midfielder. And I watched England, and when England needed good centre midfielders to just stay on the ball and keep them the ball so they're not continuously defending, there was no one, was there? And I don't think Southgate has found that combination. Paul, why is he not? Do you know what we always say when there's a friendly, Paul? We say, "Oh, these friendlies are pointless." Why has he not found out the combination in the friendlies?
No, well, that's the thing.
The answer.
I actually don't. I don't think Gallagher's done that bad, to be honest, compared to Alexander Arnold. I'm not going to call him Trent. I heard a good thing.
Arnold.
Yeah, well, someone tweeted if his name was Ian Alexander Arnold, would they call him Ian? They wouldn't, would they? Ian, it just wouldn't happen. So, just on a separate note, that winds me up. Nothing's more annoying than that, actually. But
in the first, Paul, on you, we'll carry on. We'll keep this going into flow here. But in the first couple of first 10 minutes, Walker was taking a throw in, and Arnold, we'll call him Arnold, is an idiot. Arnold was in the centre of midfield, and Walker was saying to him, "No, move there. And I think if you see a player taking a throw in and he's having to tell the centre midfielder where to be, then that's a problem straight away for me, because you shouldn't be telling the centre midfielder what to do. We should be having a really good centre midfielder that's just Walker can just worry about his own game and not shout to Trent to go here or go there. And I feel like we're missing a trick because we're carrying a passenger by playing a player in the wrong position, in a position that is so vital in football. You need a centre midfielder to be a really good centre midfielder. Football, for me, your main position is the centre of midfield. And I've just spoke Germany, really good in the centre of midfield, and that's why they're so strong. Spain, really good in the centre of midfield. That's why they're so strong. You can have all the good attacking players that you want on the wings or up front, but it doesn't matter if you're not strong in the centre of midfield.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the whole Gerrard Lampard thing that we had for almost a decade. It's trying to shoehorn players that are good into a team of 11 when some of them are playing in the same position. Alexander Arnold's position is either right back or right mid, and that's where he's played. This thing that Liverpool did, where he's right back but he's not right back because he gets the ball and he plays an inside right and all this sort of stuff. You've got players who are very adept at playing in that particular position that he's been shoehorned into. Mainu has had a fantastic season. Yeah, he deserves that chance. Gallagher is a different type of player to Mainu, but maybe not as effective. But both are centre midfielders. Alexander Arnold's not a centre midfielder, but because he's a decent player, Southgate's got this thing of, oh, well, he plays there for Liverpool, or he kind of plays there, so maybe I should have him in the team. And it's not worked twice in 2 tournament games because he's come off after an hour and Gallagher's come on. So surely that's telling you. Now, if it's an experiment, that experiment should have been done in the last 12 months, not in 2 tournament games where we've got now 4 points. I do think we'll be fine. However, when is he going to play that same system and same people when we end up drawing one of the bigger sides, which could, the way things are going, could be in the round of 16. It's that stupid persistence, and I hope he realizes. I hope Cole Palmer and I hope Mainu are actually, kicking him in the shins, saying, "Why don't you play us?" Because no one did well today, not really.
But I want to see. So the thing is, if it's not working, you've got to change it. And just if you substitute a player, you're not writing him off for the whole tournament. You're just saying it's not your day. And it wasn't Bellingham's day today. And I think Bellingham he's burnt out. Bellingham he's played a lot of football, and sometimes you're going to get games where it's just legs are not what you want them to be. And I think I could tell Bellingham wasn't on it, because when England needed someone to get on the ball and was defending for the lives, and they just need someone to get on the ball and get them up the pitch, Bellingham wasn't doing that. So he's got to bring Palmer on. And we've seen Palmer smash us up. Palmer's got a hat-trick against us. And you just want to cover your eyes because Palmer was so good we could not handle it. And you look at Denmark's defence. Their defence is not good, and they would not want to play against Palmer. He would destroy them. But instead, England are playing like players that are just like not on it, or players out of position. And there's more things. My substitutions would have been these would have been my substitutions, right? I wouldn't have played Trent, but if he's played Trent straight away, I would have substituted him earlier than what he did. I would have brought either Mainu on that you said, or Wharton that I said. So I would have took Trent straight off. I wouldn't have even wanted Trent to start, but I'm just saying, when you could see Trent wasn't doing it for the second time, you change it and you bring Mainu on probably. My second substitution would have been, when Bellingham's not playing that well, just give Palmer a chance. As simple as that. If he's not doing it, bring Palmer on. Then my other one, which I found bizarre, I really like Eze, but Eze left wing, for me, no. I would have brought, and I know probably some Everton fans might like this because he's been a dickhead to us, I'd have brought Anthony Gordon left wing, because I think he's just going to bomb it and add some pace down the wings. when I've watched Germany, you mentioned the guy for Germany, Paul. They've got two really fast kids on the wings, haven't they? They've got three centre midfielders,
Yeah,
and they've
Musiala
got
and
two
Verts.
Musiala and
Musiala
Verts,
and Verts, yeah.
two fast wingers that are just going to cause mayhem out wide if you're struggling down the middle. So if England are pent back, they'll get you out of trouble and just keep bombing it down the wings and cause trouble. Also, Spain as well. They've got two really good wingers that I watched today. They've got a similar thing going on as
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
They've got two really fast kids on the wing from Atletico Madrid, one on the left. I think a few teams are after him. And they've got the other good young kid on the right as well. And they're just bombing it down. And I like that combination, but England haven't got that, have they?
No. And I think, like you said, I was saying, when he made the triple substitution, I actually would have considered leaving Foden on and put him in the number 10, to be honest. I would have taken Bellingham off, because I think at the moment in the two games, Bellingham and Alexander-Arnold are two examples of players who are walking around at sort of 5 mile an hour. They're kind of just passing the ball off, or they're trying to do worldies and giving the ball away and everything else. And like you said, maybe he's played a lot of games and everything else, but after an hour, if he's lagging, then take him off, because Christ almighty, we got amazing
comes off
players.
Real Madrid though, Paul. He just come off a Real Madrid. Carlo takes him off a Real Madrid 60th minute.
Yeah, and he said in one of the press conferences he doesn't want all of that weight on Bellingham's shoulders. Well, stop making him a martyr and keeping him on the pitch then. It's a bit like Kane as well. If it's not working, then change it, because we've got amazing players coming out of our ears. Cole Palmer, Mainu, Watkins for Villa.
I want to see Tony. I do. I really want to see Tony, because
there's loads though, isn't there? There should be no one who's untouchable in our 11. Hardly anyone, to be honest. The only person I'd say was Pickford, who's untouchable, to be honest. Maybe Stones. But beyond that, we've literally got everyone else in decent positions who can come in and do a job. And the biggest thing for me, and Gary Lineker nailed it as well. I was saying it through the game, like just to myself. God, why is Kane coming 50 yards further back? What is a striker? Get up the frigging pitch. And actually, their equaliser came from him coming back where he was not needed. I don't know why this thing, maybe it's from Spurs days where he feels as though he has to take control of the game and everything else. We've got players who can do that. And he just comes back and back and back because he doesn't trust anyone. Or maybe it's just that he's done that for a long time. So when he comes back, we go back and the opposition get a chance. And that's exactly what happened with Denmark's equaliser. So, Christ, I'd either give him a kick up the arse or I'd change him. Because it must be so frustrating for anyone who's in that midfield to see Harry Kane stood on their bloody toes. It's frustrating. Because we've got a good chance in this tournament.
I think when you, as a centre back, when you've got Harry Kane, as a centre back, you don't want people to go behind you towards goal, because you've got a mission to try and stop them. I think when Harry Kane's going into the midfield, as a centre back, you're saying, "Oh, go on then, go into midfield. I'll have that break. Kane. If you want to drop into midfield, that means I ain't got a job. And that's what Harry Kane was doing. Do you think, and this might be mad, people might say no in the comments, get involved, please let us know. Do you think Harry Kane could play in the 10 and Tony could play in front of it?
No, because I don't think Kane would be quick enough.
If your wingers went, so say Kane plays with Tony and he drops in, and then you've got your wingers. Because I know when Kane used to play for Spurs, he used to drop in and then put Son in, because no one was putting Son in. And I think that's where it comes from. I think he's got it in his head because he used to do that for Spurs.
There was two times where Kane dropped in. This is in the first half. Kane dropped into that sort of 10 or beyond, sort of going further back, and he had a touch and then played it 40 yards forward for Saka or for Foden. And that's because they were forward. But anytime we actually won the ball back, Kane was so far back and the wingers were so far back that we didn't have any outlet. We had no one to pass to. So the crappy passes that we were doing, which were poor passes, but they were to people within 10, 20 yards. We just weren't making the pitch big enough. When you win the ball back, you've got to stretch the pitch forward. And if Kane's the person who is stood on Bellingham's toes winning the ball, there's no one further forward to hold that ball up for us. So it's just really frustrating. In fact, actually, what was happening is our press of actually like stopping their defenders. Kane was behind Bellingham. Kane was getting Bellingham to do his running for him, to basically press the ball of those centre backs. Or Kane then dropped, and it's just worthless. It's just pointless to do that. So get people who are going to stretch us up the pitch. Get people who are going to get their head down and run. You know, get people like if Saka's going to lose it after 55 minutes, get Bowen on. Bowen caused more trouble in that time that he came on in the first game than Saka did for the vast majority of his runs, to be honest.
Different players will suit different games as well, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to use everything. So other managers, that's what does me head in with Southgate, is he doesn't use or play all his cards, does he? He could do so much with that squad, and you can just change it. If Southgate sees Denmark and thinks, right, I've got someone on the bench that's going to hurt him, I'm going to chuck this weapon at you. Boom, puts you on the head then in the game. And then you start attacking. And he hasn't got the answers. Southgate hasn't for me. I'm not a fan. You should not be sitting deep against Denmark, because when you're sitting deep against Denmark, our attacking players are really good when they attack. You get players like Foden and like coming back and defending. They're not good at defending. So your weakness, you're playing to your weakness, and that's what you're watching England do. You're watching players like Saka. Saka's not one that you watch track back loads. He does every now and again, but Saka's one that forces the team. England have to push up and just go for it. And it feels like they're scared in the group stages. That's the problem. And I do feel that if England play like that, like really protective over the tournament and actually think, right, tactical, let's just make sure that we don't lose and not attack as much as we'd like just to make sure we don't lose, that will end up making them lose. To get where I'm coming from, Paul, that's what it feels like they're doing. Like when I listened to Walker at the interview at the end, Walker chat shit, don't like him. He said loads of bad stuff about Grealish. He should have backed his own player up, in my opinion. But when I listen to Walker, just accept it and say, no, it was really good. If you want to do good in a tournament, you've got to be like this. And I'm thinking, no. Against this team, that England team is really good. They should just be going all out against Denmark. Not being scared and just playing for a draw a little bit. They should just be going all out, smashing them, making a statement. They're already through. That's what they should have been doing. I don't get why Walker was happy with that. Do you, Paul? He seemed happy with it, didn't he? He was like trying to make it okay. It wasn't okay.
I think he was.
I thought it was crap.
I can understand why he was saying it, but he wasn't saying it from. He was saying it from the camp's point of view. He wasn't saying it from an England fan's point of view. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yes, it is tournament. Well, yes, it is tournament football. Yes, we've got 4 points. We're practically qualified now as it is. I don't want to finish second in this group. That would be ridiculous for us to finish second in this group. But we draw and we could be caught on that. So it's not a good performance. Yes, we're top of the group, but it's not a good performance. And I hope they watch that game back, and I hope they pick out the arse end of it and change. Or at least even if they don't change personnel needs to understand what they've got to do different. And because you can't have that again. I tell you what, if we play like that again, Slovenia, who were naive, excited, pacey, do you know what I mean? They'll score a couple against us. So
yeah, they will.
It's daft. It's daft. I'm just watching I've just got one or two tweets and stuff. I'm just gonna put one on the screen, and this sums up Southgate at the moment. To be honest, I just put this on. So yeah, what tactics are you going to use in the next game, Gareth? Well, I was thinking of using 4-2-1-3. Isn't that the same as last 100 times? Ah, yes, but changing it is exactly what they would expect.
That's a good one.
And that's where we are. That is where we are, to be honest.
I know. I don't like it. I think it's just too defensive. That he's not playing to what these players are, and that's the frustrating thing. He's holding the players back. And some will say, "Oh, he's doing what needs to be done to go far in the tournament, and he's just making sure they don't lose." You should be fresh in Denmark. I look at those defenders that they've got, slow defenders, really slow defenders, and you look at their players and you look at what they do in the Premier League. It's crazy because we watch Xhaka, we watch Foden, and we watch Kane, and we watch all these England players, Palmer and all that lot, destroy players like the Denmark team. Anderson from Crystal Palace. Now, no disrespect to him, but if Anderson was playing for Crystal Palace and he was coming up against Foden and Saka, he'd be bricking it. So why wasn't he bricking it this game when he had such an easy game? Christensen, he is all right, but he's slow, so we probably should have exploited that, but we didn't. Vestergaard, bloody hell, if you get at Vestergaard, he's not good. He got a yellow card in the first 10 minutes.
Exactly. So then you should be running at him and everything. Should be putting him under pressure then.
The old Spurs centre midfielder, or I don't know if he still plays for Hodgson.
Whatever his name. Yeah, he plays for him, yeah.
He had about 3 shots on target against England, and I thought, you know what, we're going to destroy him in the middle of the park. I thought he's going to struggle. He dominated us in the middle of the park.
You know, but if we had Calvin Phillips or natural replacement for Calvin Phillips, then do you know what I mean?
Calvin Phillips.
I was once manager of England and said these words in a post-match interview. We know we don't have a natural replacement for Calvin Phillips. We're trying different things. I mean, I hope he regrets saying that.
Look at this. Look at like we did our predictions, right? We did our predictions on our team. You look at the team when you do your predictions, and you think to yourself, they've got Hodgson, Wind, and in the centre of midfield, they've got Ericsson, Holberg, and Hodgland.
Yeah.
And they've got Rice, Bellingham. Oh my days! On the wings, Christensen they've got, and Mael or whatever his name is. And the centre backs, I just can't believe England was so bad against that team. And I can't see how you'd accept a draw against them either. And this is the problem for me. I know, as long as you go through, that's all that matters. But for me, if you play like that, Paul, it'll bite you in the arse. I'm thinking if you can't even beat Denmark, then what are you going to do when you come up against a really good team?
I think that the thing is, Denmark are probably the closest team in the tournament to a Premier League team. And I don't mean that by the personnel that they've got, but I mean how they set up. Do you know what I mean? They're physical. They like to try and get the ball forward. They have people in the middle who are a little bit slower ball players and everything else. But I think I remember saying that the only reason that we wouldn't win this game is if we turn it into a Premier League game. And that's what happened, because when we scored, as what happens in the Premier League quite a lot, we sat back.
I hate it.
And that's where Southgate's coming from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we
Southgate, he's going for 1-0. Yeah, he's literally going for 1.
Yeah.
That's the first instinct. When you go 1-0 up, you think, right, we're winning. Let's sit back and try and catch them out. And it's like when blood spills in the water. Do you know when blood spills in the water? Shark straight on it. And that's what the boxers seeing stars. If a boxer's seeing stars and you've landed a punch on him and you can see him rocking, you don't just sit back and say, right, I'm going to let you get into it. No, you jump on him. And that's what they should have been like for me. I think the moment, it's like when teams have battered Everton before, sometimes when you concede one, not so much under Dyche, but when you concede one, all the players start arguing, you doubt yourself, and you concede another one very fast if you defend it, and you cracked, like the ice is cracked, basically. And I generally do think that's what England should have done. The moment they scored against Denmark and made Denmark feel like shit, and the players started doubting them, arguing, England should have gone all out attack. Because you've got to think to yourself, when you're 1-0 up, the worst that could happen if we attack is we go back to a draw. That's the way you've got to play. The worst thing that could happen is we go back to a draw and then we change things. But let's just go all out attack. And I think if England did go all out attack, Paul, when they went 1-0 up, I think it could have been 2-4, and the game would have been done. And that's the England team that we all want to see. But if they go 1-0 up and they sit back, it's just asking for the other team to get back into the game.
Yeah, I think there's a difference. There's a difference between sitting back and holding on to a lead and adding a little bit of security or shoring things up. But don't do that at 1-0. Do you know what I mean? The game can switch like that. So if you're doing well and you've scored, why change that? You know, at 2-0, start thinking a little bit more compact, but don't go 50 yards further back. That's just inviting problems. And we're better than that. I don't think he realises what he's got. He's got a fantastic. He's got a fantastic
I don't think
team.
tactically.
He's got a great squad. These kids could win this tournament for us. And at the moment, they're playing like they are happy to get to the knockout stages.
Yeah, but I think, like, do you know when you see Pep with Man City, the Man City players are really good. But even though the Man City players are really good, Pep is better than them. So the players know what they've got to push to. So they're never relaxed. And Pep will give them tactics. So even players like Grealish, you think he's good, but Pep is pushing him. Every Manchester City player gets pushed. And I honestly feel with Gareth Southgate, with the England players, the players are just put there to see what you can do. And they're not getting pushed. And I don't think Southgate's got the tactical know-how to use these players to the best that he can. That's the problem. I think if he was a bit, when you look at the Italian manager, Mancini or whatever it is, he was really good tactically and he knew how to use his players. And I remember Gary Neville on a podcast, Gary Neville said when he was manager, there's so much more to it. And he was on about, I think it was Unai Emery for Aston Villa. And he said he just knows the game so much. And I don't think we realise how good managers are upstairs. People like Pep and all that lot. I think England need a better manager. What's your thoughts on Southgate? Because I know you get behind him sometimes. What's your thoughts on him? I don't think he's got it.
I wouldn't go. I know. I'm always reluctant to sort of go overboard. I think I tell you what I do like. I do like the process of how we got here, how we got to be manager. So we just had a succession of who's decent, you know, who's first of all who's not English, so that we can get. You know, so you had Sven, did all right, quarterfinals, which got slated for, again, golden generation and all that. Capello didn't work out so much. And then we've tried some English ones again. But Southgate's so much experience in tournament football that I just wish he'd let go a little bit of the reins and just trust his team a little bit more. Because I think.
Do you think that if Pep was in charge of that team today, do you think England would have been sitting back like they're doing, fighting for their lives just to stay in the game? Do you think England would play differently under Pep to what they're playing like under Southgate?
Oh, of course they would. Yeah, of course they would. But you can say that about any manager. You know, if Dyche was England manager, we'd be playing different. You know, every manager's got their own style.
What is Southgate's style though? Has he got a style? Because I don't know what his style is.
Well, the style seems to be fast, fluid, attacking football until we score, and then sit on it and hit them on the break. But we never do.
What a job that is, though. I mean, I honestly do believe I could do that Southgate job, and some people be like, "Oh, you're mad," but you're just given the best players, and the thing is, Southgate's done well in a lot of tournaments just because he's just given a really good hand. He's given a good hand every game, and I think if you've got the best players every game, often you just win, even if you're not the best manager. For me,
Mm.
might be wrong, might be going overboard, and people might think that Southgate's incredible. I don't know, but with how long he's been at England, and I know some of these are new players, you think he's got a style that's always there. So even though all these are new, Southgate would have a style that when these come in, his style's incredible. They take to this style and they smash it. I don't think they know what their tactics or style is. I think he's very safe. I think would you say when Southgate was a player, he was a safe player? I think he was safe and boring. I think.
Well, he was a defender.
Yeah,
Do you know
I
what I
think
mean? He was a
we're playing
he
like
was a
defenders, don't
90s,
we?
but he was a 90s centre back, so he'd be up for corners. But you weren't seeing him run with the ball into midfield like Stones does nowadays or anything like that. It was a bit different back then. But I mean, sometimes managers can be like that. Kevin Keegan was a striker, and he was always slated for not having strong enough defences. But I tell you what, all the Geordies loved his attacking football. They loved having like a Sprilla or Shearer or Ginla, or
Yeah, I would like us to be more
there's
attacking.
plenty of them. But managers are different. They are. I know how it can be hard for him because he's got players who are playing a range of styles all the time. You've got Stones and Foden who used to be in the opposition half and doing all this sort of stuff with players who are doing the same thing. But then you've got Foden and Kane. Kane doesn't play that game, and it's same with.
All the
I mean,
teams that they played for are
they're
different. Yeah.
capable. They're capable, but I'm making excuses for them now. We should be battering them.
It's what they should. I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like Crystal Palace will play probably more defensive than what Man City will play a passing style of football. Man U, I don't even know what style of football they play at the minute. But I get what you're saying. They all play different styles. But I think a good footballer, when Southgate gets them in the camp, he drills them. He says, "Your tactics are this."
Yeah.
Southgate has got to be a manager that sees what strengths are of a player, knows what football in his head he wants to play, and says, "I'm going to take everything." Because when Southgate picks this England squad, he's got to have a visualization of how he thinks he's going to win the tournament with what style. I know you play different ones for different teams, but he's got to have a real style that he can mainly use in the tournament and have players that push for that style. And I just don't believe that Southgate, what is he trying to achieve? What is he pushing for? What does he want these England players to play like? Has he got that vision? I don't know. I don't think he has because he never speaks like it either.
Yeah, well, I think what it looks like, I mean, Alexander-Arnold being one example, is that he's watching the Premier League sides and then he's picking out what they do for their Premier League side and putting them in the side and putting them in the team, which, right or wrongly, that seems to be what he's doing. But it's whether that person is best in that position in that team, in his team.
Sometimes you've got to sometimes you've got to sacrifice players just to get players to gel. Because when we watch Denmark, they're not like some players you think are weak, but sometimes those weak players allow other players to shine. It happens in football a lot when you watch these World Cups and tournaments. You think they're not that good. It's like when Ronaldo plays sometimes. If every player wanted to shine, Ronaldo couldn't be Ronaldo because they all want to shine. Football doesn't work like that. You need a couple of players that are going to do that job, and you need a couple of players that are just going to graft and allow him. Like Lee Carsley for us. Lee Carsley used to just do all the dirty work, but then it allowed other players to do the stuff, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, you can kind of go back in history, really, and pick out players who, managers who gave players a chance at key moments. Do you know what I mean? Our only World Cup victory, 66, Jeff Hurst played instead of Jimmy Greaves up front. Jeff Hurst, I think, only played from the quarterfinals and ended up winning us the cup. Jimmy Greaves, there's so many people who are saying Greaves should be in the side, and Alf Ramsey made a decision. You can pick out loads, but Toto Scalacci.
I think Lampard and Gerrard. I think they're both the same players, and you pick one, and that's it.
It shouldn't have been the case. It shouldn't
Yeah,
have been
I
the
think you've got
case.
two
Trying to
players exactly
shoehorn
the same.
players. And eventually, it comes and bites you on the arse. The Italians, 1990, Toto Scalacci, hardly ever played for Italy. He wasn't seen as good enough. He ended up being, was he top? I think he was top goal scorer in the end. And got Italy to quarterfinals, semi-finals. So, I mean, quarterfinals. There's like Ian Wright playing for Palace, got brought on as a sub. Man United 90 cup final, I think. Scored twice. Got Palace a replay. Do you know what I mean? Never looked back after that. Managers need to think about the whole team and who can do a job in that position and be brave enough to do it. And I think not taking Bellingham off today was an example of maybe Southgate is maybe not willing to stick his neck out to that point.
It's just left. When it's not working, it's just left. That's what I don't like. And I think when it's not working, you've got to find a solution where you want to see Southgate put someone on and say England was struggling there, but Southgate did this and it's put them on top now. And what a substitution by Southgate. Puts them on, finds the answer. And that's what a manager does. If things are going wrong, he reacts and he changes stuff. And I feel with Southgate, that game is going massively wrong. He leaves Trent on longer than what he should. He sees Bellingham's not having a good game and just leaves him on because his name's Bellingham. And he just didn't chuck out the answers to me, which was worrying. So we'll finish that on England because that's England. We've spoke about England for half an hour. And
he needed to get it out. England therapy.
Yeah, that's why we needed to do that show because I just felt that was pathetic, and I'm sure a lot of people did. So you relate to that. We'll go backwards now. Actually, we'll hit Spain because that's going to.
You're hitting Spain even after I've put Slovenia, Serbia on there. You're going to make me go and put Spain on instead.
No, we'll go Slovenia, Serbia. We'll go Fiji. Sorry, it's because England are in the middle. It makes it awkward. Normally England are the last game, but yeah. We'll go Slovenia, Serbia. I watched that game this morning, and
what did you think? What did you think of my prediction before the game?
Good prediction. I like your predictions. To be fair, I always feel like you're going to get them right, so I'm quite worried when you do them.
Well, draws. A few people said draws, didn't they? I think this is one that Emma got.
Keep it going. 2 seconds. Hold on, two seconds.
So I think Emma got a 1-1 as well. I went 2-2 for prediction, and I've been undone. In some games, I've been undone where people have scored in injury time to scupper a prediction. Also, a couple of times, including this one, someone scored to get me some points. So Slovenia scored goal from the left-hand side, crossed in, finishing the 6-yard box. Buzzing about that. Serbia, 5 minutes-ish into injury time. Corner, throw the keeper up. Everyone at the 6-yard line. Corner's a good one, swings in. And Jovic is literally being pulled this way, that way. Stands in the one place, gets his head, and flicks it off into the corner. Serbia go mad. Because I think if they hadn't got that, they would have been out of the competition.
I've been listening to you. I can still hear you through the earphone wave when I go to the toilet. I've been listening to you in the toilet. But one thing I was going to say is what me and Chloe said when we listened to your prediction is why did you say it's either going to be 0-0 or 2-2?
Because, well, did you not hear the one I said?
It's going to be. It's either going to be 0-0 or it's going to be 2-2.
It was because the bit before it, Serbia and Slovenia haven't had a 0-0. Serbia in 40 games and Slovenia in 21 games. They hadn't had a 0-0 result. So it's either 0-0 as in sod's law, it's going to be 0-0 now, or they're going to score decent goals. And I went, hey, I got a draw out of it. You
got draw bang on, and it when I listened to you on your prediction, it felt like you was going to say 0-0, but then you was going to go no, and then you're going to go the next option, which is 1-1. But no, for some reason, out of the blue, Paul decides to go from predicting 0-0, thinking there's going to be goals, so he just skips past 1-1 and goes 2-2.
Yeah,
and the score was 1-1.
1-1's boring. 1-1
It was
for the
there
goal.
for you. But when I watched the game, it was. I missed the first. Missed the first half, and that was when Mitrovic had a lot of opportunities.
Oh my
where
God!
you
It
said,
was
"Bloody
slim,
hell, they had a lot of chances."
Serbia
But
should have been out of sight. Out
I
of
did
sight.
catch like the second half.
More of the second half of this game, and I thought to myself, I really do like Slovenia. I really do. I love
Yeah.
some of the players.
Yeah.
And I love Sesko.
I think Sesko is incredible. He's like massive, big, and he always has shots, and
he's really good, Sesko, as I like him. He's one of my favourite players of the tournament. And I was watching him and I was thinking, yes, he has a shot. He nearly scores. Keeper has to make a good save. And then there's this player that they've got right back that's Karnashish or something like that.
Yeah.
And I straight away I looked at his age, doing my scouting like I do. He's a good right back, but he's 29.
Right.
And Zang Karnashish or something like that. And he was
like a right winger, Paul. He was bombing it down. And I thought, and he was taking players on. And he was holding on to the ball, not scared, passing it out in the right back position, like that with the keeper doing 1-2s with the keeper under pressure. And I'm thinking this player's got something about him. So he's caught my eye. And all of a sudden he runs into the middle of the park, knocks it into them, drives the team forward into the middle of the park, plays an amazing switch ball over to the left. So puts it perfect for the player on the left to whip a nice crossing, then carries this run slowly, knocks it in, scores. And I think, wow, what a goal, what a player. And he got them back into the game with a 1-1, but they have got some good play. That right back was really good. And I'd already told you before, keep your eye on that Bijol. We'll see him against England. He's a really good defender as well, Bijol or Bijol. And we looked at him last time and said he's 25 years old. And his price tag isn't that big, but yeah, he's a really good defender as well. I'm looking forward to England playing these so I can show some people how good these are. I think they'll give England a good game. So the best team in England's group that they're going to come up against, in my opinion.
They kind of remind me of sort of a Wales, when Wales were just coming to the fore, when they were qualifying, just kind of plucky, playing quickly, one or two decent players. You don't expect too much out of them, but they end up surprising people. So maybe Slovenia can do a job. I hope not, because we need points.
I just would say that they're one of those teams where I say the players just fit. Do you know where we was talking about?
Yeah.
They've got all good players, but they don't gel. I think they've got players where sometimes they might not be that good, but the combination and the balance is perfect. It's like Sesko just gets to be the main attacking player, but behind him he's got players that will work hard and get the ball to him. So I'm really impressed with them. Serbia will be gutted that they didn't do better, but it was a late goal though, wasn't it?
It was. I was just saying, yeah, he did well because he was getting pulled all over the place. He just managed to hold his ground and skip it off his head. So good scenes, limbs. We like some last-minute goals, limbs everywhere.
Bottles all like, do you know when the players was taking the corners in the corner, bottles everywhere. It was good atmosphere that game as well. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the tournament. I don't think Mitrovic and for the strikers that they've got, the Juventus striker, two big strikers don't work sometimes, does it? Two really good strikers.
No, Mitrovic, bar, keeper, wide, all sorts, and yeah, he's not having the best tournament so far.
No, definitely isn't. I think you leave the Premier League, you struggle. So that's that game, 1-1. They'll be buzzing that they brought that back at the end. Slovenia won't be happy. They should have won it. On to the next game. That was your prediction. You should have got that 1-1, Paul. I can't believe it. You must be good. You got the result. You got the result. You are good though. I'm not going to lie. I feel I've got real competition with you here because your predictions feel like they're often very close to coming in.
Well, so far so good. We'll have to get the actual champion. We'll actually have to get the scores up soon.
So Emma's at the minute, we'll get the scores up to see where me and you are at. But we know for a fact that me and you have only got one right. So I've got one score prediction right. You've got one score prediction right.
Yeah.
We got Rob to have a go, and he smashed it. He got one right.
He did.
Emma's got two right in the comments. Emma's got two.
Who did this one? Who did this Spain-Italy prediction?
Me, wasn't it?
Did you do it? Yeah. What did you say?
Yeah. You put me on the spot now. What did I say?
I don't know.
I've had that much to do on these shows today, like getting all this graph doing, getting all
I bet
the
you didn't
shows.
say 1-0. I bet you did not say 1-0.
Someone did say 1-0 though in our chat, you know.
Did they?
Someone's definitely got it right again.
I'm just gonna
Who said 1-0?
try and find it now.
Was that
I'm just gonna find it.
She got a hat trick.
I'm just gonna.
I wouldn't have said. I said 2. I said 2-2. I did, Paul.
No, no, Chris got it right. Chris Peacock got it right.
He hasn't got one right before. Chris hasn't. That's the first.
Yeah, he's got this one.
Chris has got right.
Emma
I was
went
just going to say Chris hasn't got one right.
Yeah, Emma went 3-2 for Spain, and you went 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I did go 2-2. I remember now. It's come back to me. Yeah, I did. I thought it'd be a draw and a quite high scoring draw, but Italy was awful.
Why not? Well, going off stats and stuff, Spanish battered them. Absolutely played them.
Yeah, they really did. Can't believe how good. Like I did watch this game, and like I said to you, the balance that Spain have got. They've got the young Barcelona midfielder in the centre, and the young kid. He's really good. Rodri.
Yeah.
Rodri got taken out today. I think Rodri. You don't realise how good he is until players haven't got Rodri, and we're seeing a couple of England players miss Rodri. You know what I mean? Foden's probably thinking, "I wish I had Rodri at the side of me. He's amazing." So,
yeah,
they've got good players.
I've just thrown.
You might end up injured though.
Might what?
Well, I know a couple of Man City fans that we have on the Toffee Eurocast and stuff like that, and they've said that Rodri could be injured soon. He keeps going down. He's been burnt out. Used for Man City 24/7.
Really?
He's been burnt out this tournament, and they're saying that Manchester City should probably look at getting back up for him because they're burning him out.
Well, he is pivotal, literally pivotal.
Took a whack today, a real whack today. Yeah.
I mean, if you kind of look at their group as well, they're through now. You know, Italy have to play. Who've they got? Croatia, isn't it? So Italy, Croatia next. Croatia have got to win. That'll be an interesting one. It will be an interesting one because Croatia are, they're not sort of not a team to walk over as much. I was a bit surprised that Spain got the better of them 3-0. To be honest, could be an interesting.
Italy I think Italy played for the draw today. I think that was a big problem. I seen them just sit back and try and get Samaka up top and play the long ball through and stuff, and there just wasn't that impressive. Normally, Italy could give Spain a bit of a game, and they take them on with the possession because Italy are a team that are good on possession as well, ain't they? But not today. Spain was all over.
I think because they've changed their centre back duo recently, and that had been there for a long time. That's a big miss. So. Italy by no means sort of guaranteed anything. Be interesting.
Both really disappointing, I would say, Paul. I think me and you said Italy and Croatia were a lot better than what they've been in this tournament. I think they've been disappointed from what they normally are.
True enough. What do we think about the Scots?
Yeah, I thought they played well, but they had a big injury, didn't they? Yeah. Rob called it on that one, didn't he? And the Titini or whatever his name is he's injured. But yeah, that was good. McTominay's a good player, I think. I do think McTominay's a good player, and he stepped forward that game. The first game, there wasn't awake, and I think, like Rob said, there was always going to bounce back this game. I think the first game was massively out of character because they normally do give you a hard game. They're not normally a walkover, Scotland, are they, with McGinn and all that lot? And I think they got a big bollocking. McGinn played a lot better that game. He got stuck in. So there was a lot more resilient Scotland was that second game. Got the draw. They should have won, really.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, Scotland have got what Steve Clarke said was going to happen. They're going to struggle in the first game. They could easily get a point against Switzerland. And then be all and end all will be the Hungary game. So if they get 4 points, generally they'll go through. Do you know what I mean? It's highly unlikely that they wouldn't.
That was some goal by the Switzerland lad. What's his name again? The little lad.
Shakira.
Yeah, that was a cracking goal by. He's always been good at finishing. I'm not going to say he's a Liverpool player because I liked him before he played for Liverpool, Shaqiri.
Yeah.
And his finish then, I like them. Do you know, it was bending, it looked like it was going wide and bent into the left nice and late.
Yeah.
I like that. Really good finish by him.
Yeah, no, he's a cracking player, actually. I remember him scoring a great goal against us at Goodison, Gladys Street End. I think he was playing for, was it Stoke at the time? Very good. Just cracking finisher. And he scored quite a few in tournaments as well. I remember him scoring in the World Cup, I think, sort of a overhead kick or something.
Yeah, I thought when he come on, I thought, bloody hell. Because sometimes when teams keep old players in, I think you've got to move on with times. And when he come on, I thought, you know what? He's a bit old to be bringing on, but proved me right. Because he didn't play in the first game, but I'm pretty sure he played in that game, this game. And yeah, really good player.
Yeah, true. So there we are for the other ones. So England look all right. Should do the job against Slovenia, get through. And so if you win the group, you think you play a third place team, don't you? Possibly. So could be anybody, to be honest. Netherlands, France tomorrow night. That's going to be an interesting one. Doesn't look good for Poland and Austria, really, unless there's some massive shock in the last game.
Nah, it'd be a good game, that one.
The one that's hard to call. Yeah, these are the two that are harder to call because Belgium losing the first game.
Yeah, Belgium always seems to start so. Well, I say the starts are bad. Sometimes Belgium start bad and they just go out. They can't flop a tournament, can't they? Belgium can.
Yeah. Well, very like us, aren't they?
Be interesting to see if they do a Scotland and have a big bounce back. They'll need to. They put the pressure on them straight away, aren't they? I mean, De Bruyne and stuff like that. You'd think straight away that they'd have a big bounce back, but they just never click, do they? They're a team that never click either.
No, exactly. So tomorrow we've got 3 games. We've got, I said, France, Netherlands in the evening, 8:00.
Yeah.
2 early ones. So your one at 2:00 is Slovakia, Ukraine. And then you've got Poland, Austria, 5:00, and Netherlands, France, 8:00. We haven't decided who's doing what yet.
There's 3 games tomorrow. So let's have a look. We've got Rob getting involved tomorrow, I think. Rob will have a go, I think.
Cool. Have you got a preference?
He wants to go today. Well, I'm just getting them on now, make sure I get it right. Well, we got paper scissors last time, and you got yours right. The moment I battled you for one, I lost, didn't I? And you got the right score.
Right, come on. I want to win rock, paper, scissors.
So I think that I'll take the first one. Slovakia, Ukraine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Rob can take the second.
Okay.
And you can get Netherlands. You might be ahead of me. We ain't added the scores.
I'm fine with that. No, that's okay.
Would you say do you know what? I know it sounds like I've set you up here, but I think they're all quite hard.
They are. I mean, you'd imagine Slovakia, Ukraine would have goals in it, which obviously makes it harder. Poland, Austria. I mean,
there's no banker there, Paul.
They've both got to win.
I'm telling you, all
they've got to win. They've got to win. So maybe they come out, or maybe it's just dead edgy and ends up 0-0, and both are unhappy. Netherlands, France, Mbappe, is he out? Have they made his mask? Is it going to be that Ninja Turtle one?
Which one's the orange? Which one's the orange turtle?
Donatello. No, orange is Michelangelo.
Oh, Michelangelo. Yeah, he's going to Michelangelo mask.
That was my favourite one.
Yeah. Which one's your favourite?
Michelangelo, he's the funny one.
The blue one's my favourite. Leonardo, is it?
Leonardo.
Leonardo's the blue one, and then the red one's the angry one, and the red one's always the angry one.
Donatello, and who's the other one?
Michelangelo, Donatello,
Leonardo, and
Michelangelo. Late night or what? Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo. Come on. Michelangelo, Donatello, and Leonardo.
And then one other. Raphael.
Raphael, yeah.
Got it.
The Blues would have got straight
He's
on
in
that.
there.
He was on.
Blues would have had it.
The Blues would have got straight on that. Yeah, so we've got our predictions for
Tomorrow we'll drop our videos.
Please, if anyone's listening now, which I'm pretty sure you will, go back on this. Have a go. Just literally have a go. We want to see your scores.
Yeah.
We do want to see your scores. Have a go.
We are trying to have a bit of fun with the Euros.
I am looking forward to Everton getting started, but I'm really enjoying this Euros. It's a nice break away from Everton because this doesn't matter that much to me. I do want England to do well, but a lot of games that we're touching on, we don't even support. So it's nice to just watch games and not have that much at stake. Right, everyone, drop in the banner now. Have a boss night, and we'll see you. We'll have another show on the Euros, of course. We will keep it up to date. Good rant on England tonight. I feel like we've said some good stuff on England there, Paul.
Got it out. Got it out.
Yeah, got it out. We needed saying. I'm sure a lot of people will relate. Southgate, I hope you listen to that video, mate. You need to tell it. Have a boss one, everyone. Up the Toffees.
See you later.